Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, for the first time ever on the channel, I'm doing an unhaul. So if you don't know what an unhaul is, that is where a book lover gets rid of a load of books, and that is something I'm terrible at doing. I haven't done an unhaul, I don't think, since I started the channel. I haven't got rid of, a load of books since then, and I've been doing the channel for over 2 years now. More and more books have come in during that time, and no books have gone out. So I have a big bag of books in front of me here to talk about. I actually bagged up a few bags of books to go a little while ago when I got these shelves. So I was sorting all the books I had in the attic in boxes, all the books I had on shelves down here, and ended up with deciding the books I wanted on my shelves. I've then got overflow shelves in the garage which have loads of books on, including loads of trashy paperbacks. But at that point I did also bag up some books that I said I need to get rid of these. And some of these are books I just don't want anymore. A lot of them are books where I've also got that book on my Kindle because I've ended up buying the Kindle version in a Kindle deal. So I've actually got no idea what's in this bag. I know this is a bag that I decided was full of books I could get rid of, but I really don't know exactly what books are in here, apart from the ones that I can see on the top. So we're going to go through it together, and hopefully I will be able to maintain my willpower and continue to unhaul these books, if that makes sense. Right, so let's see what's on the top. So the first book here then is The Mirror and the Light by Hilary Mantel. So I have this terrible habit of buying like a whole series before I've read any of them, and I did that with Hilary Mantel's Cromwell book. So the first of those is I had the name of it in my head a second ago and now it's gone. What was it? Wolf Hall, that was it. So I had Wolf Hall on my Kindle, I think, and I ended up buying paper copies of, I think, the other two books. I don't know if the other one's in here. Anyway, I started reading Wolf Hall and DNF'd it after about 20%. I just could not get on with it at all. I cannot see why people are so enamoured with that book, but then it's not my kind of book. So anyway, this one, which I think is the third book in the series, is definitely going. My willpower is definitely not going to change on that one. Next up, a Scandinavian mystery. So this one I have read. So this is The Ice Princess by Camilla Lackberg, the first of the her series of books featuring, I can't remember what the detectives are called, but featuring some detectives in Scandinavia somewhere. So I read this. It was okay. It wasn't great. I've got a few others in this series, and indeed they may be in this bag, because I found a load of them in a charity shop and bought all of them. It was fine, but it didn't make me want to read it, more in the series. So a fairly standard mystery. I think I remember finding the language in it a bit clunky, and I don't know if that's the fault of the translator rather than Camilla Lackberg. But yeah, no desire to go back to that. Next, another one I've read. So I think I got this for a book club or something like that, and I really didn't enjoy it. And when I show you what the book is, you'll probably think, yeah, I wouldn't expect Ollie to enjoy that book. So the book is Caraval by Stephanie Garber, which is kind of like a YA fantasy sort of a thing, I think, from what I remember. Maybe it's kind of magical realism. I don't know, but I didn't enjoy it particularly anyway. Right, I can see some more of what's in here now. So there is indeed another one of those Camilla Lackberg books. So this is The Stonecutter, another book in that series. So again, not going to waver on that one. That one can go. Okay, two books now by the same author. So I have talked about at least one of these books on the channel. I did a video a while ago of, I think it was 5 authors I'm never going to read again, and this author was one of them. Now, people have kept on saying that this other book I should read, and there's another book by him as well, which is more of a suspense novel that people are saying I should read as well. But based on my experience of this book, Watership Down by Richard Adams, I have no desire to read any more Richard Adams. I really didn't like this book. I just thought it was overblown, overly complicated, overly boring. I just didn't care for it. So that one's going, and I also have Shardik by Richard Adams, which is about a giant bear, but based on my experience of Watership Down, I have no desire to read it, and also the print is tiny, so that would not be good for my ageing eyes. Right, moving on then. Moving on, a book I love, a book I really, really love, but I do need to unhaul because I've already got another copy of it. So this is volumes 1 to 3 of the Books of Blood by Clyde Barker. So I've got on my shelves behind me somewhere the individual volumes of the 6 volumes of the Books of Blood. So this omnibus is surplus to requirement. Despite the fact this cover is fantastic, I do prefer having the 6 individual volumes. So this one's going as well. Next we have a few books by the same author. These are by Joe Abercrombie. So we have The Blade Itself, Last Argument of Kings. Let me show them to you. And they do have quite nice covers, I have to say. So The Blade Itself, which is the first book in the First Law trilogy. Is this the second one? I'm going to assume this is the second one. Best Served Cold. Is this the second book in the trilogy, or is this a standalone? No, this is a standalone, I think. And The Last Argument of Kings. So I tried to read The Blade Itself a while ago. I tried to do a buddy read of it with Gareth from the channel Book Songs and Other Magic. Gareth loved it. I couldn't get on with it at all. I just found it just too slow, too much. I don't know. It just didn't click with me in any way. And you know, as I've said on the channel before, I'm not a huge fan of fantasy, I've decided, and I think it was just too fantasy-ish for me. So I didn't enjoy it, despite having high expectations for it, because so many people seem to love it. So all of these Joe Abercrombie books, which again I picked up all together in a charity shop a while ago, are going to go. Now, I do have, I think, all of these books on my Kindle as well, so I can always give Joe Abercrombie a try in the future, should I want to. Oh, and indeed, look, here is another Joe Abercrombie book, Heroes. So that's another one that was in there. Right, next up, a much beloved book, another much beloved book that I'm going to get rid of. But again, I'm pretty sure I've got this on my Kindle, so I'm kind of not really getting rid of it. So it's The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. So this is the third book in the Dark Materials trilogy. I'm fairly sure I read the first 2. I certainly read the first one and really liked it, and then I think I read the second one and didn't like it very much, and so never got to the third one, which is I think the longest. It's over 500 pages. So yeah, I've just decided that the Dark Materials books are not for me, although as I say they are beloved by many. Right, here's another book which I love, but which I have multiple copies of. So Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is a movie tie-in edition for the Francis Ford Coppola movie. I've got I have no idea. I don't know. This must have been in the book. So this is a business card for John Clough, who works for Zurich Risk Services. So if you're watching, John, I've got your business card. Let me know if you need it back. But it was a bookmark in this book. I think I probably got this in an Abominable Book Club book box as like the mystery book. But I have a nice penguin cloth-bound edition of Dracula, and I also have, I think I've got at least one other paperback of it, and I've got it on my Kindle. So I definitely don't need this rather tatty movie tie-in edition. Next, a book I really enjoyed actually, but I just have no reason to hang on to it. And that is Deathless Divide by Justina Ireland. So this is this the second or the first? This is the second in the series. So the first one was Dread Nation. So a fun YA series of books where, I'm trying to remember the concept. So it's set after, I think it's set after the Civil War, and the bodies of like the soldiers of the Confederacy are rising again as zombies. And black children are employed as like zombie slayers by rich white families, I think was the concept. It was something like that. So they were really fun. First one was Dread Nation. This was the second one. I enjoyed both of them, but I'm never going to read it again. So I'm going to unhaul that one as well. Okay, more YA next. So I did go through a bit of a YA phase a while ago. Again, I really enjoyed this book, but I wouldn't want to read it again. So it's Elener and Park by Rainbow Rowell, which is a kind of cute 80s romance about these two kind of high school kids falling in love. I remember it being very sweet, but yeah, no desire to read again. Next, some more YA. I think this is the final bit of YA in this box. So this is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. So I did read this. I enjoyed this. I'd seen the movie first, which I thought was a really fun movie. I'm not a huge fan of Tim Burton, but I think when he is just silly and fun, he's good. It's when he's a bit pompous, which, let's be honest, he quite often is. I don't enjoy him so much. But Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, I really enjoyed. I thought, I'm trying to remember the name of the woman who wrote the screenplay for it. I've forgotten, but she does good screenplays anyway, and that was a particularly good one. I enjoyed the kind of Ray Harryhausen homage towards the end with all the skeletons. So yeah, a fun book, and I think I've got, or at least had, the other ones in the series, but they must be in another unhaul bag. But if you've not read it, it's a neat concept, and it's got these good kind of creepy photos in it as well. Okay, next, a book by an author I've just reviewed a book by and didn't like. So that book was Pretty Girls. The author is Karen Slaughter. This is one of her, I think one of the ones from one of her series. I can't remember if it's from the Grant County series or not. But anyway, it's Fallen. So I'm getting rid of this. I do want to read it at some point, despite not liking Pretty Girls, but I've got it on my Kindle, so no need for a paper copy. Right, another one you may have heard, the stack of books that I was stacking up on my desk has just fallen off, so apologies for that. I will leave that in for your entertainment. Right, getting on to some more books. I think all of the rest of these books are books that I've got on my Kindle, and they're all big as well, so I want to get rid of them to make up some space. So, World Without End by Ken Follett. So this is a beast. This is, how many pages is this? It's like over 1,200 pages. This is, I think, the sequel to The Pillars of the Earth. I've got all of these books on my Kindle. I haven't read any of them. I have tried to read The Pillars of the Earth a couple of times over the years. I'll get to it at some point, but it's just too damn big, as is this sequel. Next, a couple of books from a series I really, really like, but I've got them on my Kindle, so it seems silly to keep hold of them. So these are from the Aubury Mat series by Patrick O'Brien, Post Captain and HMS Surprise. So I haven't read either of these yet. As I said, I grabbed like the first 7 or 8 books in the series, I think, in a Kindle deal a while ago, so I definitely don't need these paper copies. Next, another book I've got on my Kindle. Loads of people who I respect really like this book. I did try to read it and I couldn't get into it. But as I say, I've got it on my Kindle, so if I want to give it another try in the future, I can do. So it's The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. So yes, I have a paper copy of this. I don't know if I got this in a charity shop or if I bought it new. As I say, loads of people recommended this, but when I tried it, I couldn't get on with it. Okay, next, another one I have on my Kindle. Haven't tried this yet, but it's The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. I think I've got most of Peter Swanson's books on my Kindle, but I haven't read any of them yet. I think this is supposed to be quite good. I think I bought this with a book token I got given for my birthday a while ago. But yeah, never actually got round to reading it, but I'm sure I'll read the Kindle version at some point. And then finally, 2 books from, again, a much beloved series, the Millennium Series by Stieg Larsson. So I've read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the first book in the series, and I really, really liked it. And I have no idea why I haven't read these 2 books yet, but I've got them on my Kindle, so at some point I'll get to them. But anyway, these are The Girl Who Played with Fire and The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. So yeah, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo I thought was genuinely a great crime thriller. I can see why it's got such a great reputation. So I do need to read these at some point. I don't intend to continue the series and read the ones that have been written by someone else, but I definitely do want to read these at some point. But again, they take up a lot of space, so getting rid of the paper versions. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, my very first unhaul video on the channel. I think my resolve is holding. I'm still going to get rid of all these books, partly because I've got most of them on my Kindle. But yeah, let me know if there's anything in there you think I shouldn't get rid of if I don't have the Kindle version, or that if I do have the Kindle version, you think I should prioritise reading. Let me know if there's any really, really great books in there you think I should get to. And as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.